Welcome everybody to Boston Concessions. I'm your host Topher. We've got oh my god. We've basically got a lot to talk about tonight. As I set up the screens and everything, get myself ready. Oh my dear Lord. First off, to anybody out there, Boston fans, etc. Are you guys okay? Because Friday, Saturday, they're not happy days. I don't care what the fans had to you. I don't care how it was treating you. Oh, dear Lord. It hurt. It definitely hurt. Why did it hurt? Well, it just a basic start. Game 6, Sabres, Bruins. You're hoping. It's right down there to the wire. Game 7, Celtics, 76ers. There's so much history and animosity between that. That should have been a cakewalk. I think I said it where I was sitting when I started watching the game. This game shouldn't have been anywhere near 7 games. Now, I'm not big on the Celtics. I'll talk about them, go over them, show you stats, tell you numbers, tell you what I think, tell you what I see, how I feel. But again, it's my opinion. Everybody can have their own opinion with everything in the world. I have mine. How I feel about the Celtics, how I feel about the Bruins, how I feel about the Red Sox, how I felt about Alex Cora getting the boot, which is still the highlight of my week, month, whatever. I'm tickled pink for Alex Cora to be good. And we talk about like a lot of things that go on. But the one thing is, my opinion versus everybody else's opinion is completely understandable. If somebody wants to give me their opinion, I'm all for it. I'm here to listen to you. But also in the same right, I can tell you, I don't agree with it. Humbly disagree to agree to disagree again. It's part of the knack of even Boston sports itself. Some people get so fickle and kind of full of themselves that they just start talking that anything that they say, do, or other, oh, that's gospel. You got to understand. What I say is what goes, and how I feel is vindicated compared to all these other miscreant rejects that talk about this sport. Hold on, buddy. First off, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. Just depends if yours is clean or not. 2, we value your opinion. We really do. Maybe in the back of the parking lot, but we do value it. Because sometimes it is a truthful fact, and sometimes it is something that somebody may have overlooked. I get people telling me, like, every once in a while, hey, you know what you should do? You should do more videos on your podcast there, because, you got the YouTube thing going, and you got the background. It's like, yeah, I know. I just choose not to. Because then I'd have to set it up, and then I'd have to do this, and then I'd have to do this. And then, like, I'm coming on here at, like, 9:45 to set up this video and do this. And then I'm going to add the little dinglies, and I'm good. I'm good. I like keeping it simple. Thank you. I love the opinion. Was great. Hey, have more video. Have more this. Yeah, I'd love to. If I had a producer that was sitting here watching me do half the things, if I had somebody that was also helping me type up what I'm doing for the whole show, I'd be fine. Hey, while you like that segment and everything like that we're going to talk about, I'm going to sit here and do a couple videos. Okay, good, great, wonderful. Take this as a heed of anything that is said to you. You don't always know what somebody goes through. They could go through the best times of their life. They could go the worst times of their life. I mean, hell. What's his name there? Charlie McAvoy. What are they saying about him now? He had a broken hand in game 2. It's always after the after effects. You know, I was going to start with the Celtics, but now that I'm really thinking about that, and like I hit my inner monologue with like how I felt about a couple things. Fuck it, I'm going to break out in the Bruins. Why is every year, when Patrice Bergeron was here, when Marchand was here, everybody. Oh, I was playing with a cracked rib. I was playing with a knee contusion. I was playing with hemorrhoids. They were bitty. Oh God. Oh, they were. Oh, so painful. I was playing with a nail that was broken. I was playing with a bad haircut. I was playing for the wrong team. I actually came in and put on the red guy's jersey. Didn't know what the hell to expect. I was playing with poop in my pants. I was playing with painted nails. Any other excuse we can come up with? Let's see. I was playing with 2 left feet. I was playing with thinking to the fact the stove was still on at the house. I was just not in it. Just not really in it. You know? It's a shame. Because it's every year. Every year you break down something like, oh, they had this. Oh, they had this. Oh, this happened. This was going on. You know? But let's break down the Bruins really quickly, okay? They were eliminated Friday after losing Game 6 to the Sabres, ending the season with a 4-2 series defeat. 42 series defeat. In Game 6 was 4-1. They scored a lone goal. After a 45-win season, the Bruins offense didn't even show. Nobody did. You want to talk about like how David Pastrnak said, like, oh, be patient. Be patient. It's coming. It's like the Bruins hit puberty. He already peaked, came all over the bed, and was now telling you to get ready. For what? 1 goal? And then letting your goalie take a beating? That's Liz? What are we waiting for, David? See, I get it. A lot of times everybody talks about how great Pastrnak is. I'm fine with the fact during the regular season he scores. During the regular season he does something. During the regular season he is oh man, he's beating this, he's doing this, he's making points. But what is he really doing in the playoffs? He kind of disappears. He kind of gets weak. He has that one game to rule the games that gets you really hyped that David Pastrnak is coming out of nowhere to make his presence known, and then disappears in the shadows again. Is that so? An $8 million player is supposed to do? Come on, people, you're really thinking it, because I'll tell you why. Because you've gone off on Swayman for being a $7-8 million goalie, and you've gone off on Tuukka Rask for being a $6.5 million goalie, or $7, whichever he was. You've gone off on the goalie tangents, and these are guys who have played phenomenal regular season hockey. They've played amazing playoff hockey, gotten you to like through 2 rounds. But David Pastrnak can't score a goal to save his world. He's a turnover machine, which is worse. Just like everybody on the team. And then there was a comment I saw earlier that like everybody was talking about Marco Sturm's state of the Bruins address, whatever the heck they wanted to call it. And somebody was like, oh, we believe in Marco Sturm. He's this. I'm sorry. You want to believe in a coach that just had the worst outing in almost franchise history in the playoffs, with 19 turnovers in 2 games, where I think I said this last time, in 2024, where they were in the playoffs last, was 19 turnovers total out of 11 playoff games. You had 19 turnovers. You actually did really well. But you had plus 19 in 2 games. You started with what would be 17 in one game alone, and then plus 7 in another. I'm sorry, I'm not believing in a coach that can't teach discipline to his players. I'm not taking the formal aspect that I have to believe, agree, and go through with this coach that seemingly, again, will probably be on the hot seat and out the door before Don Sweeney is even having a match to his ball sack. Somebody has to pay for this loss. I'll tell you that much. It's bottom line, it's great that they got in the playoffs. I'm happy for it. It's great that they made some strides. I'm happy for it. I'm grateful to the fact that they were a dominant offense. I'm glad that Jeremy Swayman found his stride and he was doing amazing in net. Yes, amazing in net. Like, I got a little bit sour with everybody. I'll tell you flat out, there's a reason why he's one of the 3 finalists for a Vezina. When you have your guys break down, do you think if King Lundqvist was anything to a top tier goalie, which he was, could you imagine if his team actually played defense in front of him? He'd have a lower goal against average. He'd probably be rocking a Vezina 2 to 3, 4 years out of the whole career he played. And that man would probably have a cup. Think about that. Before anybody goes to remark on Jeremy Swayman and how people have played in front of him. The Bruins defense was horrid. When I talk about turnovers, there's a reason for it. Because that's basically what they were. They were a turnover machine. And you let people walk in and just chastise your goalie. They would chastise one of the defenders. They would basically they'd basically give like a lot of renditions upon like where not to go. And this is a whole team markup. You can't say anything about it because one of your strengths, which is the opposite of like a couple years ago, was your power play. And that didn't even show up in the playoffs. It's like Mr. Freeze, the Batman villain, showed up to a hockey rink and was like, I'm home. This place is amazing. Oh, wait a minute. The Bruins are really good on the power play. Let me put that on ice and just freeze the shit out of them. Because there was nothing being done. There was no carry. There was nothing to construct. I don't even know if constride is a word. I don't care. That's how broken my head is. There is nothing to this team that made me really happy. And they were on the brink of almost into the playoffs. And then when Marco Stern comes aboard, it's like, yeah, we're going to make a big, huge difference. There's going to be this. There's going to be this. We're going to get the team into this. We're going to do like a lot of things. And you expected them to be 7th, 6th. They were up there in the year. They were like through the halfway point. And then all of a sudden it was like, dive bomb. You were lucky to get in the wild card aspect. And then you get sniffed out by Buffalo, which everybody wanted to know. Oh, why did you pick Buffalo in 6? That's weird. Aren't you a Bruins fan? Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the Bruins. Fan of hockey. Love the hockey. Hockey's great. The hockey's good. Right down to your toes. Right down to your fingers. Right down the cockles of everything that you sit and hold dear. Oh, that hockey. So why did they pick the Sabres? That's right. I didn't think the Bruins were going to make it. I actually kept on watching the wild card thinking to the fact that they were dropping off. And then all of a sudden they made it. It was great. Hey, Bruins are in. Who are they playing? The Sabres? Oh. Well, all right. Let's review. And I got to work. Sabres. Decent goalie. Bruins. Solid goalie. Okay. So, game 7? Maybe. Bruins. Explosive offense. Sabres. Explosive defense. Kind of still leans towards a game 7. Shit. Bruins. Not too disciplined with the puck. Not really disciplined to where like they're going to make a huge difference within what you're doing or how you're doing it. The Sabres, better control. Speed. Better discipline. A little bit more action. What does it do? Takes down a game. Defense, offense, constructed, goalie. There was no way in the world I was stating Bruins were winning this. If it went to a game 7, it was neck and neck because they were supposed to be where they were. I said game 6 because I was giving everybody the benefit of the doubt. After game 4, I wanted it to end game 5. I didn't want to go another day. I didn't want to see another aspect. I didn't even want to sniff another puck. Game 4 was probably the most brutal thing of anybody's existence. Whether you're in the Bruins organization, whether you're a Bruins fan, whatever you are, no. And to the fact that people sat there looking at this whole thing like, oh yeah, like this is going to be great. Like it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. If I'm Marco Sturm, I'm embarrassed to be the coach of that team that basically took that beating and just, no, you were on home ice. You took it like someone was whacking a baby seal and had no remorse for it. Nothing was that. And you know the reason why I'm not talking about any player but Swayman and Pasternak? And, well, McAvoy with his broken hand. It's because I shouldn't. I was weary upon this team when certain players came in. Sean Crowley being one of them. He's a great motivator. He is a veteran. But there's a reason why he was on this team and then left this team. Because he didn't have the control nor the fortitude to balance for what he was. He's a great teammate. Everybody will tell you Sean Crowley's a great teammate. But not one you build a playoff team with. I still think that the fact that they could have got one or two other guys that would have filled that role. But no, let's fill the fourth line goon squad with Sean Crowley. No. Makes no sense. But if I do look at anything within my notes, I will tell you straight up. The only reason why this went 6 games was Jeremy Swayman. You can argue, you can play off whatever you want to, but I'm sorry. Swayman, when not getting beat up by turnovers, controlled the puck, controlled the tempo, controlled the manner of the game, was there, threw out screens, threw out shots, threw out whatever you wanted to throw at him. Kitchen sink, donkey, you wanted to throw a couple watermelons, okay, calling yourself Gallagher. You wanted to basically beat somebody with a red-nosed reindeer and throw it at Swayman, and he was right there. But when you kind of kick it back, and then you're expecting the puck to go up the ice, and all of a sudden, whoop, whoop, and it's in your net, you can only do so much. Okay, the goalie gets that puck off the aspect because it's go down the other way. Give me a breather. Give me a minute. When goalies don't have those minutes and they have seconds, try running up the hill for 2 minutes straight. Because when you're moving, when you're bending, when you're doing everything, when your actions are going crazy, when your hands are going like 15 different directions, when you're stretching out here, doing this, and then you pop up and finally it's like, When you run up that hill for 2 minutes and then stop, you're catching your breath. Now imagine there's a rabid dog now coming after you because he saw you in the yard and is now going to run after you. Are you going to be burnt out? He's still going to try to run away from the friggin' rabid dog so it doesn't bite you in the ding dong. Are you going to fail? Yes, you are. You're going to get bit right on the bum. So think about that next time you want to rip up a goalie for soft goals, when you want to rip up a goalie for certain aspects of what they're doing or how they're playing or otherwise, and look at the zone. If they go to clear the zone and the zone's not cleared and that goalie's still giving you save after save and wondering what the hell is going on and you're crying about it, I want to see you go in net and prove everything to the fact that like it's so easy as you're mentioning it. Dare you. By the way, Vesna finalist. That's how I feel about hockey. And don't get me wrong. I wanted the Bruins to succeed in some way, shape, or form. I really did. It was something that I really wanted to see. And there was a lot of stuff that like I wanted a lot of success, and I wanted to see what they could actually do with not only a new coach, but a new direction, some new players. And you always have that. Let's put it this way. You always have like the two types of feelings. And I think if you sit there, if you watch the movie Major League 2, there's a lot of aspects to where the greenskeepers, the fans, certain people, they'll basically tell you how they feel. Hey, we're gonna suck this year, huh? Hey, we picked up this guy, we did this. Hey, we got a chance. Yeah, you did. Made it to the playoffs. Look like bums. And do not get me wrong. I say this every year, whether you're playing football, baseball, basketball, hockey, badminton, fucking yachting. Okay. Whether you're playing pickleball. I know people like pickleball. What the fuck? Okay. Whether you're doing something out of the ordinary that like somebody just goes, that's the sport I want to see. Cool. There's always somebody that just wants you to tank. I mean, you get so excited, and there's somebody that just believes, no, this team just suck this year. Okay, why? Why are they going to suck? Well, they just don't have it. What don't they have? And I think the point I was even going for a little bit more was, even though somebody will hope that they do good and go forward, when you play the regular season, there's always hype. When the regular season ends, to me, is when the pure season begins. When you finally get into playoff type atmosphere, that's the one that hits. That's the one that grows. That's the one that everybody focuses on. Why? Because you get people that will, oh, look, the Sox won. Cool. Well, let's see what's on. Let's see what's on for the Celtics. Oh, Jason Tatum's injured. Cool. Huh. See what the Bruins. Oh, McAvoy's got a broken hand. Cool. That's it. But if it's playoffs, I'm taking a look. I'm watching from the side. I'm watching from every angle. Look, there's something you don't see. Ice. Wait a minute. I never realized the Celtics played on a fucking parquet floor. Who knew this? Why didn't anybody know this? You mean to tell me that there's actual grass with the Red Sox when they play? I thought it was AstroTurf. Yes, a lot of people get excited for playoffs. The regular season, to me, is just a preseason. You get the preseason, which is the warm-up season, which basically anybody and their mother plays. You bring people up from like the little wees to the little wees, and it's like, here, buddy, let's take a test. Let's see how you go. Can you handle it? Then, gets pounded by somebody and thrown around and that kid's not ready. Boop, back down again. The cool aspect, though, is like when you get to the regular season, you can do anything. Why? Because you don't have to be perfect. Even though there's some schmuck bag out there. Oh, look at that. What did everybody say when the Red Sox when they had their first game? That was a stupid comment that some schmuck made. Yeah, the Red Sox are 1-0 on their way to 162-0. That's not funny. Like, I understand I'm a sarcastic asshole. Okay, I am. There's a lot of times I'm sarcastic. Hey, what do you think would go good with this? The beans or the Franks? Yep. Well, which one? Yeah, that'd be good. Just get an answer. Why? Would the beans go good? Yeah, sure, cool, great, use them. With the Franks? Sure, yeah, great, use them. Who cares? What do you need my opinion for? You're making the fucking thing. Am I probably going to eat it? Would I eat it with the beans? Sure. Would I eat it with the Franks? Sure. Why are you talking about 162-0 season? Do you sit there with the Celtics and go, hey, 81-0? No. You'd be like a laughing stock. Same thing with the Bruins. Oh, look at that. They won the first game. Here we go. Undefeated. With the Patriots, it was basically realistic. I mean, hell, you play one Sunday a month with a Saturday, a Thursday, and a Monday thrown in here every now and then. Is there a chance to go 17, 18-0? Yeah. And they did it. Congrats. Cool. They joined one of the greats to do it. But anything over 30 games, come on, man. It's cute if your youngin says it. Oh, they're gonna go undefeated. Yeah, that's adorable, little buddy. Whose kid is this? Seriously. Why say it? Because it's like anybody who did say it, look at the Red Sox now. If you said it about the Bruins, look at them now. The playoffs. Said it about the Celtics. The playoffs. Horrible. to the Celtics being out of fucking playoffs. Why? Welcome back, Jason Tatum. Came back in March, made a good push, made everything of what you could. Okay? Jaylen Brown, yes, needed Tatum because you saw him starting to break. I said it. I don't care. The narrative to it is Jason Tatum coming back gave Jaylen Brown a little bit of a breather. It gave him restructure. It should have given him a recharge from March, April to now. And for him to show up in every single aspect of what he needed to show up for. Okay? You've got that between the Jays. You've got Nemesis Keita, who can't go 2 minutes on a friggin' floor without fouling somebody. Derek White, whose shot, for whatever reason, got turned on and off by a fucking light switch. Peyton Pritchard was like the little animal that could, and a couple times couldn't, but then could again. I think it was Garza. Is that the guy we got from the boat, Luka Garza? What a bum. Nothing that this guy did. Hugo Gonzalez, pretty good. Your first year, okay. Settle down. Baylor Shireman making a huge upstep. It was great. You know? But the biggest story, though, is the Game 7 loss, because they become the first team in NBA history to lose a series to Philly after a 3-1 lead. You know what's really horrible? Here's a stat for you. Ready? The Sixers were 0-18 on Game 7s. You couldn't take a stat like that and just pray to God that you came out of it? Seriously? Celtics? What the hell were you thinking? And the point of the stats of like Jason Tatum, it was handled, I think, like an hour before game time. Like I started hearing the news about it an hour and a half into like before. And it was like the staggering point of, hey, Jason Tatum isn't playing. And he had the left knee stiffness. So it's not even on the on the Achilles he tore. Nothing. The curious part is if the medical staff just said, hey, we want to sit him. And the curious part is if Tatum could have played. Did the medical team just make that call? Like, hey, we're going to sit him. Because I looked at the bench during Game 7. Tatum looked like shit. He hated sitting on that bench. He got a taste for being back in action. He got a taste for being back on the floor. He got excited for where he was. And now he was like a caged up animal that was behind the scenes while everybody ran, frolicked, got their prey, played around. It's like that kid who is now barred from recess for pulling down little Susie's pants. And then pulling down Tucker's pants. So he's pulling down everybody's pants, pissing people off. Teacher finally says, no recess for you. You have to do this and write this and say that is a no-no. While every kid is outside running, screaming, yelling, playing, throwing a ball. Nope. Little Timmy is in the classroom because he did a bad thing. Well, That's how Jason Tatum looked. You know? And without Tatum, the offense was completely broken. Okay? The first 2 shots they took were threes. So where did I think? Missoula ball was pure in effect. 3, 3, 3. Okay? They relied heavily on Jaylen Brown and Derek White. Jaylen Brown got the ball. It wasn't even like, let me look at my teammates. No, let me pull the fucking team and shoot the ball. That is not necessary, man. Work and pass the ball. Pass it around, see where you feel, get that open shot, get that open look. That would have been so much better than playing hero ball. But you decided to do it. So did Derek White. Some of his shots were like, hey, I got the ball. You've got 2 guys in front of you and you're still shooting it. Why? You shot horribly in game 5. Game 6. Now you come into game 7 and you're shooting okay, but nothing near to what you need in order to carry yourself past this 76ers team. You got nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. The team shot 3 of 22 in the fourth quarter of game 5 and just never came back from it, especially from game 6 and game 7. There it is. There's the stat I wanted to read. You mean to tell me that you did horrible from game 5, horrible in game 6, and then you showed up for the first 2 quarters because over time, like, you started to catch up. There was like a point where you had a point lead, then you had a 2-point lead, and then you were like, volleying back and forth. You made a little bit of like a muster that you were going to come back, and then you just kind of disappeared again. And then the third quarter, as I'm driving home from where I was, I just looked at the score. It was like 88-66. I'm like, nope. I'm going to hate turning this on when I get home. And I did. It was horrible. Joel Embiid popping 34 points. Tyrese Maxey, 30 points. They basically took Boston's defense and it was a picnic. They just feasted on Boston's horrible defense. They looked slow. They looked worn. They looked disorganized. How are you expecting to go into playing a Knicks team getting so dismantled the way you were? Hell, if Boston won, how are you going into that Knicks series? Don't tell me you were planning it. You're going to get dismantled from the Knicks. Take 2. There was no way around that. And everybody would have given me like a whole shenanigan. You know what's next? Oh, the Knicks. The Knicks in 6. You wouldn't have said Knicks in 7 because you were defeated. You were defeated by the 76ers. You were defeated by a little bit of a younger team. And you yourself had a younger team. Where was the speed? Where was the holdup? Where was the defense? I'll tell you where some of it was. Nemesis Cater, who had a really good defensive year, was on the bench. Foul trouble. Jaylen Brown, some of it, on the bench. Foul trouble. Because why? Oh, wait, he wanted to be a hero. You got to look at a bigger picture on that. Okay? And the what if Jason Tatum played, what would the outcome been to that? Where would he have been? Like, where would Joel Embiid be? Would he have 34 points? Would Tyrese Maxey get 30 points? I will agree with something that Jaylen Brown said. And it was a tweet that was actually given by me. I wanted to know if the 76ers had taken a class in the LeBron James School of Flopping, because it was even to the fact that Paul George was in on it. And why? Because a lot of times it was like, and for those who will actually listen to this later, I just buzzed the front part of my face, but made it seem like I actually got slapped. But seeing a lot of it, Joel Embiid was like horrible. Tyrone Maxey was even worse. And then I forget what the friggin' two-tone hair-colored little troll doll was. He was the leader of the bunch. There was one call that it was an offensive on Jaylen Brown, and he was holding his arm. And the minute Jaylen went to go give a little bit of a push because he was holding his arm, he threw himself back. What did they do? Call offensive. Call it on Jaylen. I'm like, if you're calling that, I'm sorry, do you have LeBron James on speed dial? Do you have him in your pocket? Are we wondering what the heck's going on here? That is horrible. Should not have even been called. They did. They did. Oh, God. So yeah, anybody wants to know how the Boston sports has been? This is basically the culmination of what you're looking at, because this is what it comes down to. And what's worse is when you look at a lot of the teams and you wonder if you played a little differently, would it have made a difference? If you just kicked up another cylinder, if you found another gear, if you just made 2 more shots, would it have made a difference? What if you didn't even have the chance to make those 2 shots? What if anything went worse? I know I've said in the past and certain other times, what if, and I always hope for those strong characteristics of what if we did better? What if Jason Tatum did play and threw up 24 to 28 points and he was rock solid against defending Joel Embiid to give Nemesis Keita a little bit of a break from getting fouled all over the place? Okay. What if he took a little bit of the heat off of Jaylen Brown again, where he could actually hone into what he was doing for his shots? Those are big what ifs. Here's another one. What if Jason Tatum didn't play in the series? What if Jason Tatum didn't even come back in March? Would the Celtics be where they were? Would they be stronger? Would they be prepped? Would they be formative? It's a good questions. Would Jaylen Brown be the same player? Would he be exhausted? Would Peyton Pritchard have stepped up as much as he did? Would Gonzalez or Shireman or Jordan Walsh, would those guys have made a bigger step into where they were if Jason Tatum did not come back in March? Those are huge what ifs. And he did come back. And what if they went on like a horrible tangent? What if they tanked like, most of the season and just didn't recover from it? What do you do at that point? Where do you stand on what you're looking at when you're doing those moments? To me, you can't stand on anything and hope that this is where you're carrying. This is what your expectation is, because right now you're warned. And the Celtics having a 3-1 lead against Philly, game 5 should have been a close. I always said Philly taking one game would be understandable, but anything more than one game was a killer. Letting Joel Embiid come back and play full games was another killer. Letting them get momentum, especially after game 6, was horrible. Anything after even game 5, where they started to implode, that just meant you're going into their building. And you know something? I was looking at it from 3-1, and I'm like, hey, Philly wanted this. And now I look after game 7 and look after the loss, and I still say the same thing. Philly wanted this. And my markup with how I say it has changed. Because you're up 3-1, you say it as a Celtics fan, like, hey, Philly wanted this. You know what I'm saying? They wanted this. And you look at it after game 7, the loss, the shift, the momentum like killer, the everything breaker, the bringer of harbingers of whatever you brought and destroyed yourself from the inside. Hey, Philly wanted this. And Philly got it. It wasn't like we sat there and said, oh, Philly, yeah. I think everybody from ESPN to 98.5 The Sports Hub to EEI were probably sitting there going, nobody wanted this. Philly fans, and the fact that they wanted, I think Stephen A. Smith himself was even like, Philly, you don't want this. And for Stephen A., basketball knowledge himself, he was high on, he loves his Knicks, but he was high on Boston. Because Boston coming into the 2nd seed, he knew that they were coming in with what should have been a healthy Tatum, a very good motivation to get in there, and everything that was going to carry who they were. And for the first 4 games, they looked exactly as Stephen A. Smith described. They were all the more so involved. And they were pumped, primed, and ready. And they blew it. They blew it. Not as bad as teams blowing a 28-3 lead. Not as bad as teams up 3 games to none and losing. I mean, who does that? What? Why? No. Really? Yeah. Oh. So here's another thing I'll state before I go into the Red Sox. There's hope if you like hockey, because the Boston Fleet are still playing. Yes, the men are out and the women are in. Basically where I stand all the time. Women are always in. The Fleet are currently tied 1-1 in the semifinal series against the Ottawa Charge. They won game 1 on Thursday. They dropped game 2 at home on Saturday. They now go to Ottawa for game 3 on the 8th. It is a best of 5 series, so it's a best of 3 now. So, hey, the Bruins aren't playing right now. You still love hockey, go check out the Fleet. Why the heck not? You know, it is hockey of all things. Everybody loves hockey. Oh. So I've got I've got a couple things here that, you know, I can go in with, because like a lot of so the aspect that somebody has talked to me about the Red Sox, because now it's like, hey, Topher, you're actually watching games again. Like, oh, yeah. You know, I'm seeing a couple, you know, I'm watching a couple. I did watch the Houston series. The Houston series was good. Not within the strong suit of what I would have liked, but there is something, and I said it on a TikTok, and I'll say it straight here. There is something different about this Red Sox team already. And if you really want to break it down where the difference is on this Red Sox team, take a gander. Their demeanor is a little bit different. You know, just the overall aura of no Cora is doing a body good in some ways. Like the essence in the clubhouse seems different. It seems motivated. It seems captivating. And are you going to see it in the first 5 games, 10 games? No. But you can see it a little bit where it starts to come into action. And you do have to excuse a lot of stuff as well, because there's a lot of things behind the scenes that are going on, you know? And I can say it with the utmost confidence when I look at this. I'm trying to like also figure something out, because like I know one person is here, and so Garrett Crochet placed on the 15-day deal. He's out. Okay. Sonny Gray, hamstring. He's out. So you got some young kids up. You got some. You basically got some young blood sitting in there. You still have to work with your hitting. You still have to work on like how to approach the plate. This is not going to be an overnight success with anybody, especially within what you're looking at. You have to get past your pitching woes in order to stop this 5, 6, 8 run droughts that you keep on getting at. And it's not for like the saying the faint of heart. It's just you could be a little bit better within where they're going. Garrett Crochet is going to be on the 15-day list from April 26th. You know, they went such right now with 13-21. They're dead last in the AL East. Chad Tracy is doing as much as he can. He's 3-4 since taking over, but you have to look at the rotation crisis. Pitching staff decimated. Garrett Crochet, Sonny Gray down. Okay, Brian Bello blowing games. You know, Peyton Tolley coming up looking okay, then not okay. You're seeing a lot of, especially Ranger Suarez. So he got handicapped today. I think he was like -3 on the throwing stroke for like whatever he was doing. But there, like, it seems to be 3 missing ingredients to the fact that something that Rafael Devers and Alex Bregman did bring to the table. And this is where I break it down. The first thing is middle of the order fear. Let it be known they don't have it. You can say Wilson Contreras because he's had a really good bat. He's got like, you know, some pretty good pop, and his presence is feeling it. But you're also looking at Devers to where, like, hey, am I going to pop a home run? Am I not going to pop a home run? And granted to the fact that, and I'll get into this in a little bit because this is some of the stuff I wanted to look at. Bregman and also Devers not being on the team, respectively, if they were on the team, it might be worse. And yes, like, you know, there are some guys that have that all-star power, and they are all-stars. And they will make a pitcher pitch their pants. Doesn't mean that it's in a overall good view of what you're going to see. Secondly, veteran presence. They're young. Wilson Contreras is, I mean, he's okay, but I don't think he's a pure padded leader because it's his first year in. You have Jaron Duran, who I think he's so rattled within what a fan is saying to him. And my heart goes out to him, really, because we talked about that as, you know, an opening segment. But it's hard for him to like even become that leader when he's battling demons himself. So they don't really have somebody that you can say, hey, you've been in these situations. What can you do? I don't know. And thirdly, clutch power. Okay. Red Sox are losing close games. And like a lot of times, I went through this last year when we were talking about the Red Sox and going over like a lot of things that they were doing wrong. And a lot of things that even Cora was making those really wrong calls, or he wasn't supporting, or he would go the wrong way in the bullpen, or he would leave a pitcher out there for a little longer than it was. He was losing a lot of 1-run games. So when you have these 1 or 2 runs, that's all you need. A slap double with a man on base is going to be all end all and like actually get guys in. Someone who can actually, it goes back to number 1, that middle of the order fear. If you have a man on and you are in the middle of the order and you are up to bat, is there a possibility you're going to pop a home run? They don't have this. So yes, it hurts. And in ways, I understand when people say like, oh, bring back Devers. No. Oh, we need a Bregman in here. Yes and no. And I understand, like, listen, before you decide to like grab the lynch mob and go after friggin' what's his name's head, okay, Breslow made an executive decision with a lot of things. The first thing I'll state he did, sending away Rafael Devers, was probably a very smart and confident idea. And yes, it got a little bit of an amount back, And it would have made more magical sense had Bregman still stayed on. I just don't think the aspect of where Bregman wanted to stay and where Bregman was actually feeling it, given to the fact that when you had a lot of people in that room, and it's rumored to the fact that Theo was in the room as well, it just didn't seem like a marketing pitch that was going to make it for this team at all. That could have been a Theo thing. That could have been, a Breslow thing. It could have been both of them. It could have been a Sam Kennedy thing. I believe in the Sam Kennedy thing, by the way. But for comparison, I decided to see the third baseman of last year to the third baseman of the years before to the current third baseman that they have now. Because everybody says they want to call for Caleb Durbin's head. They want him removed. They want him gone. They want him just executed for whatever he is. First off, you got to stop. We are 25, 30 games into the season, and you already want to implode everything around you. You did this last year. You did this the year before. And then the Red Sox went on a wild tangent run when they actually started getting things in the mix. And then all of a sudden, you were huge fans again. No way. Is that what you guys do? You bitch, you moan, you groan, and then when they start winning, you're yay, yay, we're happy, we're great, we're doing fantastic, we don't need these other guys. You guys are silly. But come on, let's talk about Caleb Durbin, shall we? There's probably 2 to 3 things, depending upon how you look at this, that Caleb Durbin will really hit you with. The batting average. Caleb Durbin is batting 165. Now, granted, he started out the year like Rafael Devers last year, batting over 16. He's getting a little better with it. He's now batting 165. He's no Alex Bregman at 243, but he isn't also Rafael Devers at 214. Yes, Rafael Devers is batting 214. The only person I can say that has a worse batting average than Caleb Durbin during this time in the problem of the season, yep, you guessed it, my all-time favorite hater of them all, Jackie Bradley Jr. Yes, it's kind of like Danhausen saying, you are cursed. Well, guess what? We're bringing back Jackie Bradley Jr. in the same way. Jackie Bradley Jr. I never want to talk about him again. Danhausen, I'll talk about all day. That's amazing. So, yes, the winner in the batting average is, of course, Alex Bregman. Ding, ding, ding. Hooray! On base percentage. Well, Alex Bregman is... Saw the replay of me doing the "you are cursed" thing with the Jackie Bradley Jr. thing. That was hilarious. The on base percentage. Of course, Alex Bregman is who he is. He's Alex fucking Bregman. Okay, I will say the F word because it basically makes monumental points. Okay, his on base percentage is 333. Is it where it normally is? Maybe. Usually, I think he's a little higher to at least get on base. Where's Devers? 257. That's really low. On base percentage is something you should strive for. You should actually be getting on base. You're a hitter. Get on base. Well, where is Caleb Durbin? He's at 254. So She's not as bad as Devers. I mean, he's no Alex Bregman, but he's a little bit better than Devers, which is actually, well, Devers is still better than that. Ah, he's horrible. Let's go back to slugging. See how everybody's doing in slugging. Hey, you might have guessed it. Alex Bregman leading the charge. Home with slugging percentage of .353. Hold on, because it gets better. Rafael Devers' slugging percentage is a whopping .305. How's Caleb Durbin doing? .248. Okay. So he's going to work on that. Hey, how many home runs do they have? It's a great question, Boston Concessions. Let's answer them, shall we? Well, look at that. Alex Bregman has 3 home runs. Rafael Devers has 2. And Caleb Durbin has 1. That's impressive stats. They're all within 1 rank of each other. Hey, wait a minute. Third base comparison. How many RBIs do they all have? That's a great question. Because it makes a difference. Because it helps you if you're hitting RBIs, whether you're walking somebody in or whether you're doing something that's actually getting the guys into the home plate area to make a run. Well, Alex Bregman and Rafael Devers have really shocked you here because they're tied 12. Hey, wait a minute. Caleb Durbin isn't too far off. He's got 11. No. So, right now, Caleb Durbin may not be the best batting average guy. May not be the best on-base percentage guy. And he may not hit the cover off the ball. But he's got 1 home run compared to Rafael Devers, who has 2. And then Alex Bregman, who has 3. But he's behind them by 1 RBI? You mean he's putting a best foot forward to help his team? Okay, that's great. So let's look at this a little bit more. How about the defense? How's that look? Let's start with Alex Bregman because he's been leading in everything right now. Oh, wait a minute. The defense, he's -2. He's below average. Always Rafael Devers. Historically below average. Huh. Caleb Durbin is +2. He's above average. Wow. He's winning in a stat category. Hey, there's another one. If anybody's sick of this bit, I don't care. There's a fielding value. Alex Bregman, -1 run value. That's not good. Hey, Rafael Devers has a negative run value. What's Caleb Durbin got? Jumping bats off your belfry. His fielding value is a +2. You know what that means? Caleb Durbin is a defensive genius. That's right. The Red Sox prioritize defensive speed with Durbin. He's objectively the best fielder out of all 3 of them, which is good. He provides stability at the hot corner that Devers really sucked at. Remember the errors that Devers would create? It seems like the complete opposite with Caleb Durbin, which is good, which is what you want. It's just his bat has been nearly non-existent. So when you think about it, and my transition to baseball has always been a little bit different. Your catcher is always going to be your weakest link with hitting. Why? Because he's controlling the pitchers and controlling the lineups in certain ways that will actually make or break everything that's going on. So you rely a little bit more defensively in your catcher and less offensively in your catcher for those strange reasons. The funny thing is when our own Jackie Bradley Jr. was playing, he was hot and cold on certain occasions. And as a center fielder / outfielder, he should have been the bee's knees when it came down to, well, hitting the cover off the ball and getting on base. That should have been a given in any stat. However, with the model catchers that he had, Sandy Leone not having a whopping average as it should be, but also not having like glowing pop in his bat, he was also hitting some home runs, but also getting on base and hitting some RBIs. Christian Vasquez, on the other hand, was doing monumental with staying above a 250 average, plus also hitting a couple decent home runs, but some doubles and everything in between that made up for when Jackie Bradley was sitting dumpster fire. What does this mean? It means to the fact that, like, when you have a fielder that is weak, where is your catcher actually standing up for that point? And Narvaez is kind of, he's not great, but he's not bad. But then when you're switching out Narvaez for Wong, you're still lacking something in Wong. Something is Wong. And I didn't mean to say that in that manner. It was just set up in that, yeah. Wong has had that issue because I believe he went a good amount of time last year without an RBI. So are the comparisons in hitting and otherwise an everybody issue, or is it just something that mechanically it's just not working? It could also be the fact of the mechanics of the team and the makeup of everything, and like what is actually making certain people tick and what's making people not tick. This is where you have to basically break this down and get the right formulas for what is happening. Chad Tracy is trying to do everything he can in order to make that happen. Alex Cora was ignoring that, which is some of the reason why Alex Cora was sent out the door, and I'm completely happy with that. Okay? There's a lot of things that Alex Cora wasn't doing. Managing a whole team was one of those features. So, yes, I understand that Craig Breslow made a decision stating to the fact that he wanted Alex gone. And he probably showed more proof in the pudding to upper management and otherwise, and as well as convincing Theo Epstein to be that nail in the coffin. Even though him and Cora are friends, and he understands the likelihood of Cora, but for the understanding of getting rid of him when Breslow wanted more change, should have been a last year thing or a year before thing. It was right there for the taking, and it should have been done. Okay? Granted, you have to give Craig Breslow a little bit more credit than what is due. This man brought in Garrett Crochet, signed him for a good long-term deal, did the same thing with Christian Campbell. Of course, Campbell's now more or less paying for it in whatever she's just not getting correct. And there's a couple other things that, hey, we locked up Roman Anthony. And now you're showcasing Roman Anthony as the Roman Empire of the Boston Red Sox. The kid needs to learn how to basically walk before he learns how to run. Okay, right now he's at a crawl. And yes, during during the Astro series, he had a marvelous home run. Okay. And everybody like, oh, it's back to stop. It's not back to anything. Give it a minute. The man just hit a home run. That's it. Okay. He did not cure polio. He did not invent 15 vaccines to cut down everything that is ailing everybody in the United States and the world or otherwise. He just hit a home run. Let's see how it goes throughout the week in order to even make the progress of anything that's happening. Okay. And within this whole debacle, the biggest question right now is going to be how the Red Sox can turn it around. Is the season over? No. Is the window closing because you're having a bad moment? Yes. So do you have to right the ship, get it right, and also kind of hold that window open as much as you can? Well, sure. What are your steps to doing that? First off, get healthy on the mound. Okay, Garrett Crochet coming back, Sonny Gray coming back, Ranger Suarez playing solid, Brian Bello getting in his head and having that fifth starter that's going to make a huge lick of difference. That's where you've got to get better. Okay, 2, bullpen. Okay, that is going to help you get healthy on the mound. Weissert is blowing. Okay. And I'm not talking blowing like a candle in the wind. I'm talking blowing like a 50-cent hooker at the end of anything that you see in Chinatown. Horrible. Okay. Whatever he did in the World Baseball Classic, great. Whatever he's doing right now in the Red Sox, blows. Huge monumental difference. Okay. But you need to get that going. If Sonny Gray can return mid-season, okay, and also get kind of on his lick, you can you can basically stabilize yourself. That's the word I was looking for. Okay, and make a good push to where you can get out of the cellar. But you have to focus on Toronto. You have to focus on Baltimore. And then you have to focus on the Yankees. But the bottom line is getting out of that cellar. You don't belong there. You're actually quite better than the cellar. Embrace the small ball. Okay? Nobody needs everything in any which way to be a long ball. Everybody wants to hit a long ball. Everybody wants to get up and crush the ever-loving crap out of something and get 2 runs, 3 runs, 5 runs. It falls under the category of Missoula ball, just in baseball form. Don't get up there just to smack a home run. Okay? You have speed. Caleb Durbin has speed. Jaron Durant has speed. Ceddanne Rafaela has speed. Get these guys on base. Have them steal bases. Have them get prepped. So when that screaming line single goes in, you're running off to third instead of sitting there at second going, huh? Score those runs. Make it what it is. Okay? Small ball can be a beautiful thing. Everybody wants to hit a home run. Everybody wants to see a home run. Okay? That's why they call them dongs, because everybody wants to see it in one way or another and wonder if it actually fits the bill. Okay? But Chad Tracy needs to unleash a chaotic running game. He's got to get pieces that make sure that you're in scoring position, you're in a winning format, and you can also have discipline at the plate in order to get the hits. That's where it starts. Okay? The trade deadline decision is even bigger. Okay? The front office must acquire a veteran bat. Okay? And I'll give it this and I'll bring him back up. If Chad Durbin is still hitting 160 by July, it's over. You put him on the bench, you get somebody else at third, you get you can either trade for a third baseman, second baseman, shortstop, something like that. Okay. Get somebody that will actually manage and prioritize what you're looking at, and then use him as a runner. That's probably the best way that you're going to run off to anything. Okay. You don't have to go and get a star. You don't have to have, I'm an all-star, get your game on and go play. No, do not smash mouth this, please. But you need a professional hitter. Someone who can platoon with Durbin, take the pressure off of rookies, take the pressure off a lot of pieces. Get those guys in there. Okay? And when I looked up things for replacing Caleb Durbin, this is what I found out. It's a GM short list of targets that anybody can tag, take in, do anything that would make this move monumental. Okay? If you want to save the season and make a statement, first person, the blockbuster of blockbusters, you go after Carlos Correa. Do I like Carlos Correa? No. Between the incidents in Houston and everything in between and how I felt about everything going on, I think he's a dinkbag. But the heaviest rumors are Houston could move him. Okay? He's a 272 career average hitter at Fenway. He makes a lot more sense. But he is that culture changer that can resonate with guys. He can actually be on the same page, make them feel a little bit wanted, a little bit more controlled. Okay? He brings elite defense. He also brings in that clutch, something that is definitely needed within this team, especially if you're down 1 or 2 runs and you need that pop hit. You don't always need a home run. Sometimes you need a single. Sometimes you need a double. Sometimes you just need to hit the ball. Some of these guys have it. Some of them don't. Now, here's the downtrodden part of this. The cost. Would you probably have to give up Kyle Teal? Maybe. Would you have to look at something really big? Yes. Now, if Houston is desperately trying to move him, can you finagle it for a little bit cheaper? You're hoping so. Because the price tag for everything that you're looking at right there on something on a bigger scale, huge. Nothing I would even say. Okay? Because the other thing that also popped up is who else would you give up for him? Would you give up Roman Anthony? Well, let's put it this way. We were trying to push for Ketel Marte, who's 30-something years old. No, and no. You do not give up something that is an utter prospect that's going to be a big name, or even the fact of give you a big push and be an all-around hitter, for someone that is going to be there for a year, year and a half, and then retire into the sunset with Ben Gay and Asper Cream. No. So, what's another perfect fit? Well, when you've got the all-star, you then revert into the rental. Eugenio Suarez, he's got perfect power without gutting the farm system, so it's perfect. He signed a 1-year deal in Cincinnati. If the Reds fall out of the race, he's the easiest thing to acquire because you're going to be dumping salary in order to get rid of a lot of things. You're also, if you run out of the race, you're not going to have a lot in order to bounce out of there with. So why keep a guy on your team when you can actually see where everybody else is for your younger stats or your younger players and see where you would even want to start with coming into the following year? So, yeah, Eugenio Suarez is right out the door. Okay? See, here's a plus and minus, though. First off, he strikes out a lot. Okay? So Mark Bellhorn 2.0 has officially arrived. Okay? If we actually go get this guy. Okay? What's the positive, though, of striking out like so many times? He's a 30-run homer potential guy. Okay? He gives you that fear factor in the middle of the lineup we talked about like a little while ago. So that's a bonus and a positive if you're looking at Eugenio. Okay? The cost, mid-tier prospects. Maybe something you can actually pitch this guy for this guy. Hey, I don't know if he's going to be like the big name honcho, so we can give you him. Win. Okay? And then the third, the change of scenery guy. Well, if you've got Isaac Paredes in any which way, he was linked to Boston in trade whispers as teams like the Cubs or Astros shuffled their infield. He's a full-size hitter who'll definitely go over the Green Monster. Okay? He's not a superstar. He's a professional hitter. He's a veteran. He's two of the pieces that you desperately need. And it's something to get a little bit more off Willson Contreras' back. Bonus! The fit. Why he fits into this lineup. He stabilizes the position defensively, and he lengthens the lineup. That's what you want. You want somebody who's going to be a little bit more control and a little bit more finesse, but he also can handle between being in the field and also being on base. Okay? And then you've got the complete throw-off. Okay? Mickey Romero. He's the free option. He is the first-round pick, and he is already making presence known in AAA Worcester. What can you do? Move him up. If it comes back to the fact that the Red Sox are 10 games back in July, you don't become buyers. Romero comes up, you let him learn the job. You let him learn functionality. He's got a higher offensive ceiling, and he's got more to offer than anybody on the team. So can you use him at third? Yeah. Can you replace Durbin with his 160 at-bat? Yes. Can it make a difference? Mm-hmm. The idea, just to lay it down, Eugenio Suarez seems like it would be a perfect aspect. And I'll tell you why. You need a veteran, okay? Lo and behold, there needs to be an adult in the room. I hate to break it to you. Don't mind me. I agree with the fact that, like, I love to run around with the kids. Not in that way, please. Let's actually reverse that. Okay? The young and up-and-coming talent, that is the Boston Red Sox, need the adult in the room. They need someone who can actually talk to them and be that presence. Okay? They need that overall veteran to explain to them what they can do differently, where they can go, but also be a voice that they can go to and talk without having that kind of bracket of a wall. Okay? Suarez also is a low risk with high reward rental who can hit fifth. He can protect and keep your prospects for the future. There's a huge aspect in that. Where can you go from there? There's a lot of other places, but the idea is you want to get better. And over the next month, this is where your focus is going to be. Get people back on the mound. Get the team healthy. Get them updated. Continue to work with them in order to go through what they need to in order to be better. Now, the Astros series, they looked a hell of a lot different than what they did in the past couple series. And that includes the Baltimore series where, your captain of industry, Alex Corin, got canned. Then they went over to the Toronto section. They looked a little bit okay, but they also didn't look as good. But then again, your pitching is completely trash. You have nothing in the cylinder for anything besides young people that come up, and they're not going to have that veteran aspect in order to back them. Sonny Gray, injured. He's probably focusing on rehab more so than he is being there to talk to guys about what's going on. Think of it in that manner and that way. You need to get better. You need to find ways that you can't always have this young up and coming team. You need somebody to be that old man presence in the room that helps to understand where they're looking, how they're looking, and why they're even looking there in the first place. Oh, I want to see them do this. I really do. It's something that, like, I think once you get past the Alex Cora drama, once you get past like the Alex Cora mind numbingness of talk, exasperations, and basically just hoping and praying to the fact that it fixes itself. Once you see a little bit more as to what you should be doing and where this should actually affect you, like I said, according to Wilson Contreras, the team can already sense that presence being felt over the past 5-6 games. It's a different atmosphere in that clubhouse without Alex Cora. And some guys who are corner guys, whether it be Trevor Story or otherwise, they're going to start seeing those idle differences. And once you start seeing them, you're going to start feeling them. And once you feel them, I think that's when your bats come alive. I think that's when you're going to see this team just kind of click, snap out of it, and start either playing small ball or playing smart ball. You don't have to play small ball. You don't have to play long ball, but you have to play smart ball. Hitting the ball right, knowing when to run a base, knowing when to like actually read into everything that's going on. That's what you're meant to do. I think the Sox have it in them. Just got to see if they actually pop it. Hey. Oh, man, this has been a long night. Oh. To whomever and anyone, thank you for checking into Boston Concessions. Oh. That killer aspect of everything that happened over the weekend, it sucked. But you know something? Let's see what the Sox. Let's see what the Sox do. Let's of course see what the Patriots. I mean, the Celtics do. You know, and I'm curious. Anybody who sees this, I'll have a little poll on X. I'll try to see if I can put one on the Facebook page as well. But do you think Joe Mazzulla's time is now officially ended? Do you think we're moving on from Joe Mazzulla? Is it the end of Mazzulla ball? Could this really be happening? All those questions. Well, for all that and more, we're going to be back. I want to say Thursday. Thursday and maybe Friday. We'll see how everything goes. We'll actually touch up on like the remainder of the league since we don't have to worry about Boston. And also, if anything really comes up, we're going to be talking about it. We might even embrace some food knowledge because I've actually eaten at a couple of really good places. And, ooh, my God. Might have a couple of recommendations. All right. Thank you all for hanging out. We are Boston Concessions. I'm your host, Topher. We are an SSBN podcast with the lovely guys out in Rhode Island. Share their knowledge with me and I with them, and we bond. Also, hope to God these motherfuckers start recording soon, because I will tell you, there's a lot of information between the Red Sox and otherwise that I think all four of them need to just get off their chest. So that's at least my thought in a nutshell. But what do I know? I'm just over here. So to everybody, have a safe and good week. We will talk to you on Thursday or Friday. Check out the TikTok. It is at Boston Concessions. We're doing some really weird little shorts. And it's all fun and games. Till someone loses game 7. All right, all. Good night.